Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on the Zoom screen. We haven't quite gotten through the week. We're pre-recording on a Monday. So we're hoping that everyone, as they're listening, has had a great week. And at the same time, we are hoping that we will have a good week when I'm talking to my guests. It is United Way Day. So that means I am staring at the lovely face of Elise from United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. She zhuzhed her hair before we started recording and everything.
Yeah, zhuzhing, I think that's a little generous still. Took it out of a braid, hope for the best. But thanks for having me, Janet. It is always wonderful to see you and your coffee paraphernalia. Always brightens my day with all your orange.
Well, I am currently working on Zoom wall number 2. I've got a few things in the works so I can sit in a different spot and have a whole new wall. It's the only way my house is getting decorated through this pandemic is I'm creating Zoom walls everywhere I want to sit to record the radio show.
Well, that's actually very impressive. I really should aspire to have a Zoom wall, but when you have open concept house, it's just kind of like keeping it clean is all you can end. And when you have a toddler, that's pretty much my only goal is keep the house safe and reasonably clean, and then we kind of go from there.
Well, I am excited today because we have a return guest on the show. Tell me who you've brought and who we're going to be talking to.
Oh, Sara and I go way back. I think I met Sara when I started at United Way almost 6 years ago, and I have seen Sara through, I think you've had twins? Yes. And then she has another kiddo the same age as mine, another one. So Sara and I are both in the thick of it with Babyland, crazy. But Sara also happens to run one of my favorite organizations on Our Health campus, Healthy Families of Northern Shenandoah Valley, and a longtime grant partner with us at United Way.
And Sara, we've had Healthy Families on to talk about a variety of things because you guys offer a wide range of programs and services for people in our community.
Yes, thank you so much. It's great to be here today. Yes, with the pandemic has not slowed us down. We have been busy as ever this past year and trying to help support the families in the community.
So give me a quick rundown of some of the things that you've been doing both pre-pandemic and maybe some new things that you've had to create because of it.
Sure. So pre-pandemic, so Healthy Families, we offer home visitation services. And home visitation services, we match parents with a trained professional home visitor who goes out and gives information and support either during their pregnancy, through their child's first 5 years of life. With the pandemic, that has looked a little different. So as of March of last year, we quickly switched to telehealth and haven't missed a beat. So we rolled out the infrastructure for telehealth services and have still been meeting with the families on a weekly or every other week basis, giving parent education and information and trying to help support them and connect them to the local community resources. There's been a tremendous need and our community certainly has stepped up to the plate, and we have been able to distribute a wide variety of items such as diapers, wipes, formula, pack and play portable cribs, car seats. Those are new baby care packages, and we've done a toilet paper as well. We received a donation of toilet paper and have been doing porch deliveries out to the families enrolled in our program.
So do you think that telehealth is something you would have done or implemented had it not been for the pandemic? Was that on the list, but so far down the road, it wasn't really something you guys were thinking of?
It wasn't even on the radar. I said it wasn't in my wildest dreams that a year later I would be working from home and we would have telehealth. It's been a tremendous success. Our engagement rates are high. The families actually really enjoy it because there's so much flexibility with, there's not drive time for the staff, and the families can, be in the comfort, whether they're, on their porch or in their home, so they can log in when it's convenient for them and do the telehealth visit and get the information and support. So no, this is, since it's worked so well though, I think it is something that we will maintain long-term as like a hybrid model, to where, some families may want an in-person visit. Some parents may just want to log in on a Zoom session and get the support that way. So it's opened a lot of doors, I think.
I can imagine too, because in some cases, yeah, that maybe they have an in-person visit scheduled when we're on the other side of this, but one of the kids comes down with a fever or something else comes up, and it can easily be converted to a Zoom call. It is going to check so many of those boxes moving forward.
Yeah, it's been very successful. And yeah, no matter if the family's sick or they have strep or pink eye or flu or COVID, we've had several families with COVID. And so yeah, it's helped to keep the staff healthy, our families healthy, and keep the community healthy.
Now, what did that do though for your bottom line? Because I know converting to something like that isn't free, nor is it cheap. So I'm sure that took a kind of a hit for you guys to be able to make that investment.
Yes, so we are strictly grant funded, a Department of Winchester Medical, and so I had to rewrite some of our grant funding, reallocate for emergency COVID use. We had two positions that were open, and so I rewrote the grant, and we were able to purchase iPhones and iPads for the entire team, which was about a $20,000 investment, and that laid the foundation long term should we need to maintain the telehealth. And then of course, we reached out to our partners like United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. They had emergency COVID funding available to access diapers and wipes and formula. And so we were generous that we received one of the grants from United Way.
And at least that COVID relief fund was literally a lifesaver for not just a lot of individuals in our community, but for a lot of these nonprofits that were trying to help those in our community.
Absolutely. We have seen such an incredible need in our community, ranging from everything from, of course, diapers, formula, to help with getting kids access to internet for school, to the largest need we saw, which has definitely been housing and keeping people in their homes and warm with their utilities on over the winter. That was really been, the needs have really been very impressive. They've been huge at United Way. Actually gone up 150% over last year.
So, Sarah, I understand you guys did a diaper bag drive.
We sorted a diaper distribution. That's what we did with our COVID grant, our COVID-19 grant that we gave out to healthy families of Northern Shenandoah Valley. We helped support a distribution of formula, diapers, and what other, did you give anything else out, Sarah?
Wipes, and we received also food donations from Blue Ridge, from Highland Food Pantry, and from the Blue Ridge Pantry. And so we also had baby food and food for toddlers available. So they just drove through. We had 225 cars that came through in one day on the Our Health campus. Mm-hmm. And we had a team, all of our community partners from the health department and CPLA, Our Health, Healthy Families, and a couple ladies from the Department of Social Services came over and, handed things through the window. So we were masked and gloved and socially distanced, and were able to help a lot of families that day.
So, Sarah, outside of this pandemic, how many families do you typically serve in a year?
In home visitation, which is the one-on-one service, our capacity is 200 families a year. We are very grateful. We've grown over the years. When we first started with our grant funding, we served around 89 families. And the it's called McV grant we received in 2013 as a community. That helped to double the number of families we can serve. So it doubled my staff, doubled our outreach in the community so that we can reach well over 200 a year. And we're gearing up actually in April for a rewrite of that grant, but that brings funding to high need areas such as Frederick, Clark, Winchester, in Warren County as a separate entity to increase home visitation. So it's based on the community need, and we're excited to be able to continue to grow.
Did you see a noticeable increase during the pandemic of families because so many were isolating and so many were having to be home? I had the luxury of, and I say luxury, of leaving my son for periods of time during the day when he was a child. But it's tough for moms that are there all day, every day, when they know they should be working and can't.
Yeah, I think it presented a new challenge to all of us. All parents in the world. I mean, parenting in a normal day-to-day situation it's challenging and it's hard and stressful. And you put into the mix, being in a pandemic and being home and work has changed and trying to find a quiet place to do, your services and support your team. And then with school being out, there's been a lot of stress. And so we've worked really hard on a monthly basis, trying to talk to our families about managing their stress, self-care, that you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others, and to help manage during a crisis such as that we've had.
I struggled. It's just me at home with the puppies, but even I struggled to find a quiet place to get some work done. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, I know we mentioned in our pre-show conversation that April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So I want to make sure that we touch on that a little bit. So can we talk about that when we come back?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation for United Way Day. We are pre-recording with Elise from United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Joining her on the Zoom screen is Sara Schoonover Martin. She is the Executive Director of Healthy Families of Northern Shenandoah Valley. We're going to talk more with both of them when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday. As you are listening to the show today, it is United Way Day Friday, and we are pre-recording our conversation with Elise from United Way of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Joining her on the Zoom screen is Sara Schoonover Martin. She is the Executive Director at Healthy Families of Northern Shenandoah Valley. And Sara, in the first segment, we talked a little bit about all of the different services that you offer, the impact that the COVID has had on you being able to provide those. But looking ahead, you had mentioned to me in the pre-show that April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. That's probably even more important now in a pandemic when so many families are at home with their kids and the kids aren't in school where teachers and other watchdogs might potentially be seeing some sort of abuse that could be happening.
Absolutely. It is more important now than ever. Like you said, I know the numbers have decreased with the visibility with children not being in school. And so, yeah, we are gearing up. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month under Prevent Child Abuse America. We are affiliated under Healthy Families America. And so each April, our community partners come together to celebrate children in our community and trying to build strong families. the motto this year, it's called Growing a Better Tomorrow for All Children Together. And we just need to remember that every day that we help positive childhood experiences take root, and that our children are locally grown. And so we need to work together to cultivate our relationships, our connections, and environments that help every child to thrive. And so we are grateful to United Way and to our other community partners for the work that they do in the community, which allows us to reach the families and to spread resources and support throughout the community region.
And that's one of the things about preventing child abuse is it is 100% preventable. It requires education. It requires making sure that parents understand and have the tools to be able to cope with whatever stresses that they can get through without having any kind of abuse inflicted on the children. It really is, there should be a lot of hope there that it can be just completely wiped away.
Yes, that is definitely our hope. I know the state office, there's, I want to refer you back to two different websites. One is our state office, it's called Families Forward Virginia. So it's www.familiesforwardva.org. And there is a wonderful online resource tool for everyone in the community, whether you are a parent, you're a professional, you're a grandparent, information loaded that, just to spread the education and awareness how you can make a difference to help prevent child abuse in our community. And then our local website is www.healthyfamiliesnsv.org, and we have information on there as well.
And this is one of those visual things. I know that you guys do the pinwheels. So tell me about how that came to be and where we can expect to find them in April.
Yeah, so we will have the Pinwheel Gardens started about 10 years ago on the national office. So we have blue and silver pinwheels. It's a national initiative. And so you will see gardens popping up with all of our community partners. We'll be sending them out to all of the families in our that are enrolled in our program. So usually we plant over on the Our Health campus. We usually plant at Winchester Medical Center, and then we give it out to the community partner agencies to plant gardens at their own businesses and at their homes.
And it really is cool because when you drive by, you see them blowing in the wind, and it really is an effective reminder, I guess, of sorts.
Yeah, just a visual. I mean, everyone loves, it's just a child-friendly tool that we can use to just spread awareness and education across the community.
If someone wanted to reach out to you because of something we've talked about today, or because they have questions or issues around child abuse, do they do that through your website? Do they call your office? What's the process for connecting with you or someone at Healthy Families?
Sure. So our main office number, it's 540-536-4113. If anyone is pregnant or a new parent, they can fill out a self-referral form online at our website at www.healthyfamiliesnsv.org. And someone will return will log on to that within 24 hours and call them to get them connected to resources or information. Healthy Families really is seen more as a parenting resource center. So we are happy to answer questions, link them in the community. We love our friends over at Valley Assistance Network. I know we've had several families this year that have needed their help and support. We've had a family living in a hotel with multiple children, and they have made a tremendous difference in trying to prevent them from becoming homeless and families from falling through the cracks. So we are very grateful to United Way and Valley Assistance Network.
And while the majority of the services, if not all of the services that you provide to people in our community are at no charge, that doesn't mean they come to you at no charge. So supporting you, donations, do you ever need stuff, or is checks with commas the best way to support Healthy Families?
Sure, there's multiple ways. And we have a list on our website. If they want to make a difference, there's special projects. We have our new baby care packages. So we're always collecting new items, diapers, wipes. We do distribute new formula, baby care items such as receiving blankets, body wash, shampoo, soap. We put those into packages, and distribute those back out in the community to the families that are most vulnerable or the ones most in need. There's actually a lot of families that come to the time of delivery over at the hospital and they have nothing. But there's over 2,300 deliveries a year at the hospital, and we usually distribute around 100 new baby care packages a year to families that come there, and they really are just, they don't have the resources. So yes, we love donations. Of course, we always love check donations as well. You can send it, mail it through our office. You can get more information online as well, or call our office and you can do stock donations or pay via credit card. So we take all of the above.
And Elise, I remember, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, because, you know, that pandemic year throws everybody off for what actually happened last year and what didn't. But we had someone on from Healthy Families. We recorded it in the conference room at United Way, and she brought one of those new baby packets with her to show us what all was in them. There's a lot of really good stuff in there.
Yeah, and it is important stuff to have because it is not a good feeling when you realize you've forgotten something and you need something for your child. But I can only imagine it feels a heck of a lot worse when you can't afford it and you don't know how you're going to get it. And so that's just one of the reasons why United Way is so happy to partner with Healthy Families, because we want to make sure that every single child in our community has everything they need to be successful, and that their families can also be successful and grow a healthy child, and how we can have more healthy families throughout our entire region.
So one of the ways that you guys do that is also through fundraising. Does that mean we're talking Rubbermaid sale next, because it is the last Friday of the month?
It is indeed, which means tomorrow, Saturday, is the last Saturday of the month, and it is our Rubbermaid sale. And this sale, we are excited to say, is going to be a double trucker, 2 tractor trailers coming out, and we have 2 agencies we are benefiting this month. With the sale of all the materials and the donated products from Rubbermaid. We're going to be helping out ARE, AIDS Response Effort, and also Blue Ridge Housing Network. So these are some really incredible community partners, and by shopping our Rubbermaid sale, you're able to support both of them, as well as United Way and Salvation Army, that do all the orchestrating and the heavy lifting in the background. But come on out to our Rubbermaid sale. It starts at 8 o'clock, wraps up by noon. And come out and get a bargain on some amazing Rubbermaid product that's all donated. So every single dollar goes right back to local charity.
And you have twice the opportunity to be able to pick up some of those all important items that everybody comes out there for, because if there's 2 trucks, doesn't that mean twice as much?
Yep, twice the inventory, and we never know what's going to come out of that truck. It is a surprise every time, a little bit of Christmas morning to open those trucks and see what we have. Will it be trash cans? Very likely. Will it be Tupperware? Probably. Brooms? You betcha. So come on out for your industrial cleaning needs, but then also, who really knows? So coming out and get the first dibs. Definitely the early bird gets the worm.
Well, it's interesting. We always talk about the trash cans. Whenever we're talking about the Rubbermaid sale, we always talk about the trash cans, because there is a line of people just waiting to get those things. And I have a client on my Java Media side that has an online auction company. And in an auction a couple of weeks ago, they had the big Rubbermaid trash cans that were the pink apple blossom ones that had the Bloom logo and stuff on them. Somebody paid $110 for one of those trash cans, and it just blew my mind. I thought, did they not know about the Rubbermaid sale?
Yeah, well, we don't get those. Those are special. That was some sort of special fancy way they got that. I don't know how they got that, because we would love to have that too. But no, it is amazing. That stuff really can go for quite a lot of money when you have to buy it not through a local charity. So that is how I would really recommend you do your purchases.
So campaign is wrapping up, or has wrapped up. So you'll be distributing all of that moolah here in the next couple of weeks to months, right?
Yes. We are still finalizing our total we're going to be giving out. We're still waiting on the last couple campaigns from local companies to finish. And once we have those couple big outstanding campaigns wrapped up with their grand totals, we'll know how much we're going to give out. Usually it's around the $500,000 mark, which is pretty darn exciting. With that, we usually help somewhere around 40 agencies, depending on each year and what each agency is asking for and who's applying. But we always give out these grants in the areas of education, financial stability, and health, and just try to serve the community where the needs are the greatest. And right now, we are excited to be gearing up for that time of year and getting ready to give out some money. And I know that Sara, with us here at Healthy Families, is also an applicant. So we wish her the best of luck.
Thank you. We're very excited.
It's going to be interesting. Last year was the first year I participated on the distribution end by serving on a committee, and COVID had just started. I mean, we were barely into the lockdown when we were sitting down and figuring out, meeting with these different agencies. So I'm really curious this year, now with a year of COVID behind them, what those presentations and what those needs are going to be and how that's going to look moving forward into 2021.
Well, I know a lot of what we have seen is that the needs haven't necessarily changed. They've excelled, or they've become even more visible. People could get by a little bit more gracefully, maybe before when there was a little bit more room for error. Now they're just living on the edge of a knife even more than they were before. And so we see a lot of the same needs, but then the level of people who are looking for help is just increasing. So there's always been issues with housing and people that's not making quite enough money to get by. And we're just seeing more of that. Like our rates at Valley Assistance Network have gone up 150% in the last year. And the biggest needs, of course, are housing, food, and just taking care of their families and keeping people going. And so we're just going to do everything we can to respond to what we have in there, the needs in our community. And we never have enough money to go all the way around everywhere and to do as much as we want, but we're just going to try to stretch that dollar the very best we can.
So if somebody wants to give to United Way, aside from coming to the Rubbermaid sale tomorrow, where is the best first place for them to go?
Our website. Go to our website, which is unitedwaynsv.org. Or you can just type in United Way into Google and just look for the one in Winchester, and that'll help you find the way to go.
Fantastic. And healthyfamiliesnsv.org is where you can start for all of the information for Healthy Families. Sara, Elise, thank you both for taking some time to meet up with me on the Zoom screen today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I hope you get out. Have a great weekend. I will be back on Monday. It is a conversation, speaking of Valley Health, it is a conversation with Floyd Heater. He is the president at Warren Memorial Hospital. Joining him is Jenny Groom. She is the executive director for their foundations for Valley Health. We're going to get an update on the new hospital at Warren Memorial Hospital. So we're going to find out what the status is of that, and talk about some opening dates and what moving is going to look like, because that's going to be an interesting thing to have to move patients from one hospital to another. So maybe back here on Monday, I will have that conversation ready to go for you just a few minutes after noon.